We waiting on something? Are we started?
Nope, we're live, Carl. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, my apologies. Well, happy Saturday afternoon / evening, everybody. Welcome to our District 78 closing ceremonies. I am Carl Murbach, District 78 Director, and I would just like to take a few minutes to talk about our journey and how we got here. It all started back last July when Toastmasters International asked every district to let them know how we are going to run our speech contests. And at that time, we had voted by our district, our deck, to be able to do a live speech contest. Well, if you're big enough to remember back to last year, COVID started picking up, infections started picking up. Toastmasters International came out and said we have to run our annual business meeting virtually. A number of things came back to where in September we changed our mind and voted to go back with a virtual speech contest and virtual district conference. The one thing I discovered as we went through this was I really discovered the hidden treasure, which was our theme for the year. And our hidden treasure is the members, the people that came together to put this conference, to put our trainings, to put everything together. Over the past few weeks, it was wonderful to see everything come together, starting last Tuesday with our business meeting, which is the first time we have had a business meeting outside of our Saturday of our conference, with our education sessions on Wednesday, Thursday. Friday was our keynote address, our opening ceremonies, a wonderful presentation by Cheryl Rausch that inspired us all to set goals. Coming into Saturday with our speech contests and great things, closing every evening with a fun little event. And I hope these things will continue, whether we meet in person or we meet virtually in the future. The one thing that is coming out of this is that I know I missed a lot of sessions, but in this format, we are able to record all of our education sessions, all the other things that we have had during this conference. And guess what? It's now our time to see those again, to share those with our members. Not everybody can make the conference every year, but we have something that we can share. We are closing up today again with our closing ceremonies, and we have a great little program to put together. And yes, some of you still have to wait around for our speech contest results at the end of this program. So I thank everybody for attending. And at this time, I would like to welcome our keynote speaker, Harrold Osmundson. Both inside and outside the club, Toastmasters provides us with unlimited opportunities to grow and benefit. Great adventures and treasures exist within your Toastmaster journey. Are you aware of them? Are you taking advantage of them? This session will reveal the great adventures and treasures in Toastmasters and how we can gain the most from our membership. Our presenter, Harrold Osmundson, currently serves as International Director on Toastmasters International Board of Directors. In this role, Harrold serves as an ambassador, working to develop, support, and modify the policies that guide Toastmasters International in fulfilling its mission. He has been a dedicated and enthusiastic Toastmaster since 2011. Please help me welcome Harrold Osmundson to present the great adventures and treasures in Toastmasters. Welcome, Harrold.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. District Director, fellow Toastmasters joining from all over. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. It's an honor to be able to attend and contribute to the District 78 conference. I want to thank you for the opportunity. And before I get into an actual message, man, I'd love to thank you for many other things. Earlier, I was at a conference where we were able to stand up a little bit and kind of give everybody an opportunity to be recognized. Here, I think we'll maybe do it in a virtual sense, but most likely everybody on this call today and in this conference has served as a club officer, a district officer, or has done something to contribute to the club or district or international since March 2020, over 2 years ago. And we owe you a huge debt of gratitude and some thanks and appreciation for contributing during the pandemic. We are hopefully on the getting ready to kind of complete or be done with the pandemic, depending on whose definition or interpretation. And I think there's a lot to celebrate and to be thankful for, and to say, hey, we're going to be okay. Things are okay. We managed to keep the lights on, so to speak, in our clubs and in our district. There were challenges, sure. We had to learn a lot of new things, sure, absolutely. And we still are learning things, but we're here and we're moving forward. And that couldn't have happened without the members, the officers and leaders, the club, district, and international level. So a huge thank you for contributing and getting us to this point. I think the future is quite bright for all of us and for District 78. As I mentioned, I was at a hybrid conference earlier, and this was for my local district. And I said I would say a few words, and we tried things in a hybrid manner. And I have to admit, it was quite a challenge. It was something else to try to adapt to in-person presenting with also virtual or online presenting as well. And I'm more thankful now to be presenting in one manner. So appreciate this opportunity. And for those that are getting involved in hybrid, it's a challenge, but it's probably a challenge worth looking at to serve our members. And thinking about the idea and the theme of treasures and adventures and the hidden treasures of Toastmasters, absolutely, our members are the ultimate treasure. We have great people with great values, great goals, and we all come together in the organization to learn from each other, to learn through each other and with each other. And the best thing about Toastmasters is the Toastmasters themselves. There's zero question about it. It's a great community to be a part of. No matter your goals, if you have goals that would involve communication or leadership, this is the place to be, if for no other reason that you're around a community of people who want to help. And speaking with others today at this conference, I realized as I saw familiar faces and we talked about things, I was reminded of past conferences. And even maybe 12 years ago, well, maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, probably to be exact, where I attended my first conference, and how everything looked to me and these faces that I didn't know, and everything was new, and I was just in awe of everything. It was interesting to reflect on that and to realize how far things have progressed, how far maybe things have progressed in my journey. And I don't say that in any way to kind of say, wow, climbing a mountain, but just to say year by year, things continued. And I continued these adventures in Toastmasters and how I benefited from them, from the challenges, but from the adventures. And I thought I might share some of the adventures today, and some of the adventures that I'm really excited to be a part of. And in doing so, my hope is that maybe we'll each see a new adventure for us and a new treasure that we can take from each adventure. There's kind of this reality in that there's so much available to us through Toastmasters, but it's not always evident. And we can have two members, either from the same club or from different clubs, and they have a completely different experience. And looking at that from a leadership point of view, man, I really would love to see more members get more from Toastmasters. I think that we can grow very naturally and organically if we help our members get the most out of Toastmasters. And to me, that's really been the number one thing, taking care of our members and helping them get the best experience possible. We each pay the same for Toastmasters International's membership dues. All the costs are the same. There might be slight differences for club-specific dues. But despite having the same dues, we have different experiences, and that just doesn't necessarily feel right to me. So my hope within maybe a couple of minutes here, we'll share a message about how can we get a little bit more? What are some adventures that we could engage in and pursue going forward as this conference comes to a close? My adventure 12 years ago started, and it started out of curiosity in Toastmasters when a neighbor invited me to a Toastmasters meeting. I had read about it. I knew I wanted to get involved with it at some point. I just wasn't sure how to do it. And I'm sure there are many more people like that out there who are aware of Toastmasters in some sense, but not sure when to get involved or how to initiate. But my neighbor just happened to reach out and say, we're going to a meeting this Saturday, you're welcome to come. Don't have to participate. I said, sure, that sounds like a great thing. Great time right now to get started in it. And it was a club that would probably not be high on the list of running the quality meeting. There were 5 members there. We had a tough time. You could see that there were a lot of us just learning Toastmasters. They were learning to be a club. It wasn't even a club yet. But I saw the opportunity to start a new adventure. I saw people around me that are interested in developing their skills, learning to speak better. Some were super polished and some not so polished. And I figured, well, I'm not so polished, but I've got a place to start here. And this is a good community to surround myself with. Doing this every week on Saturday mornings, I can make time for this. And I did. Now, the club got a little bit better and we grew over the years. It helped when we learned a little bit more. And I started to become a little bit more active in the club. Opportunities just kind of naturally opened up, not because I had any skills or any special gifts, but simply because I had an interest in serving. I served as treasurer for several years in the club. I didn't actually serve as its president until several years later. I was an area director and a division director before I served as president of the club. I can't exactly explain that, but I'll just say there were others who were interested in the role, and I was very happy to serve in my leadership role. But in showing up every weekend, every Saturday morning, I realized a couple of things. One, the more I got involved, the more I participated in the club, the faster I grew. And I could see it elsewhere in professional work, in my daily life. And it was incredible. And I realized, like, this is the connection. I'm going there on Saturday morning, getting these benefits. I also realized something else, that a lot of times people aren't really all that interested. Sometimes people don't prepare speeches or cancel out of speeches. There's usually an opening or two for a speaker at a given meeting. It still happens today in many of the clubs that I participate in. So I took advantage of those opportunities. Anytime there was an opening, I took it. I spoke about anything I could that was related to a project and also something that I was interested in and passionate about. And everybody on this call, I'm sure of it, has something that they're passionate about or interested in speaking about. Could be a book they just read, a podcast they listened to, a favorite hobby, or something. There was something about speaking regularly, at least once a month, that did the trick for me. And I found that my communication skills just got better. Not perfect, still a work in progress for sure, but I can communicate to the degree I wish to in the manner I wish to speak. And in my opinion, if most of us set a goal, an adventure, if you will, to speak every month, we're going to get more out of our membership. And our club will have no shortage of speakers. It'll have a new problem, actually, if we do any of the math. We'll have more speakers than speaking slots. But that's a great problem to have. And a club can expand its number of speaking slots to satisfy the demand for speaking. So I would ask and just encourage you, set a goal, an adventure, if you will. I'm going to speak every month. I'm going to make sure that I'm making progress on my goals. You had great speech contests, an absolute awesome opportunity to participate and to grow your skills. And while this round is over, there'll be another round soon enough, probably next spring. And encourage you, if you are eligible, speak there, because communication-wise, it's one of the fastest ways to grow your skills. In fact, if you are eligible, it's almost worth committing to say, I will compete in both contests at my club level. And there's something about that environment, the new environment, the different format relative to a normal club meeting. We get so much out of it. I only competed in one round, and I grew so much through that process, both in table topics and in humorous speeches. And yes, my wife can't believe it, and some people that know me can't believe it either. Yes, I can actually be funny sometimes, but it takes a lot of work. Outside of the club and beyond speech contests and Toastmasters, we have other opportunities to expand our Toastmasters or speaking skills. We talked about one on Wednesday evening, and that's Rotary, going to your local or a Rotary club and giving a speech and sharing about Toastmasters. I had the opportunity to do that not 12 years ago, or really too many years ago. It was actually within the last year. I had an opportunity to go to a couple of clubs, one couple online, one in person, another organization in person as well. If you ever have an opportunity to reach out either to a Rotary Club, maybe it's Kiwanis Chamber of Commerce, or any organization that will give you time on its agenda to share a message about Toastmasters or anything else, take them up on it. There's something about getting in that new environment, the new audience, of crafting a speech and getting a message across that helps us develop our skills there too. And anytime I can get really, really nervous like I did at these Rotary Club meetings, it's great for me. And it's great for you as well. Getting nervous and doing the things that we fear doing, it's not so bad for us in the long term. And just like that hybrid speech this morning, it could have gone better, but I grew a lot in the process. And the next one I will have improved. And that's the spirit of Toastmasters. The more adventures we embark on in the communication or leadership sense, the more treasures we gain regardless, because the treasure might just be in the experience itself and the learning that comes from it. Thinking about leadership, pretty soon we'll have opportunities at the club level, and even probably some openings at the district level as well, to serve as a leader and in a leadership role. And this is a hidden treasure of Toastmasters. Most of us didn't join Toastmasters. I'll take a guess. It's just a guess. And most of us joined for communication reasons. We wanted to get better at speaking. But in the leadership sense, we may have just uncovered a little gem that there are many opportunities to lead in Toastmasters. In fact, it seems to be one of the rare organizations to me, not the only, but one of few that are available to us, where there are constant opportunities to fill roles in leadership, whether it's at a meeting, or club level, district level, international level. We probably have, not quite, but we have many roles for just as many members. And there's something good about that. My father said that, and I agree with him, that the military develops leaders very well because they give people opportunities to lead. They give them responsibilities when they're young or when they're brand new into the military organization, and that helps them develop extremely fast. It's not much different than in Toastmasters. At the club level, soon with elections, we'll have an opportunity to fill roles, to be elected into one of 7 officer positions. And in some clubs, there may be an opportunity to have committees or to take a demanding role, such as the vice president education role, and split it into maybe a couple sub roles or partitioned roles to help make that role a little bit easier to do and also develop leaders for the future. I encourage you to think about doing that. One, because it's great for you. It gives you the opportunity to learn about yourself. Yes, you contribute to your club, and that's very important. But also, by taking on a responsibility, making a commitment to your club, and putting in effort to lead, to make a difference in whatever capacity it is within the club, you learn about yourself. Where are you strong? Where might there need to be a little bit more attention? Or maybe an area that we want to stay away from in the future. And it's okay to develop that. All these leadership roles, if they do nothing else, they make us more aware of who we are, of what we have right now in relation to maybe where we wish to be. Where are we strong? Where do we need to put some time and attention in the future if we wish to develop the skill? Every role I've been in, I learned something. It started with, at the district level, serving as an area director. Blew my mind to go to other clubs, to see other Toastmasters members, how they did things, where we were similar, where we were different, where we might have been good, maybe some areas for improvement. And that expanded my horizon. And I think anybody who has served as an area director would probably say, yeah, that was quite a role. And some of us even say, let's do that again. I can't wait to get started with that one more time. It happens. There may be opportunities, and I hope if you have already, should we say, if you want to go beyond the club level, take a look at the district opportunities to serve as an area director if there's still openings. Good things happen when we serve at the district level. One, I think our club benefits because we get more and we provide more experience and perspective to the clubs we're a part of. We gain quite a bit in meeting others and in learning about ourselves, and again, contributing to the leadership and the benefit of others. Through our service, we grow and we're able to serve more. And if beyond the area director role, you'd like to get into other roles such as division director, club growth director, program quality director, district director, beyond, those opportunities are there. And it's a great time if you're thinking about that for the future, maybe in 2023 and 2024, now is a great time to look at those. I never thought I would progress to so many roles. That was never part of the plan. It was always just one thing at a time. It always seemed like we were getting close to the end of a role. It was time to go look at something new. I knew I would miss certain things about serving, but then an opportunity would open up and I thought, well, maybe I could contribute. Maybe there's something I could offer. And that was that. I said, well, let's give this a try. Maybe it's going to be a big challenge. Maybe it's too much for me right now, but I'll give it a try. Maybe I've got a little growing to do. And through that, we transform in 1 year. And I don't know of that many experiences. Sometimes you can get it in professional work, sometimes, where you transform so much in 1 year. Again, as an area director, complete transformation. Every other role, serving as an international director, it's a lot of new experiences, a lot of challenges, and some learnings, let's just say that. But we grow. And when it's over, we would say that was a great adventure. And here's all the treasure that we found at the end of the rainbow, if you will. Think about that if you were interested in learning more, getting more from Toastmasters. It often comes at the end of one of these adventures in a leadership role. And some may say, well, what if I'd have to campaign? It's an elected role that could be contested. Many will be contested roles, and they will require campaigning. And it's okay, because there's so much treasure, if you will, in the campaigns themselves. Whether they're contested or not, we put ourselves out there. We're a little bit vulnerable. We make mistakes. We put our foot in our mouth sometime, or we say the wrong thing, or something doesn't go to plan. That's okay. We learn a lot. And if we are elected and given the opportunity to serve, that's great. If not, we learn a lot. I think every one of us on this call, on this conference call today, we could say we learn a lot through the setbacks and the challenges and the learnings. And that's okay. It means we're getting our money's worth from our membership. So whether it's communication or leadership, so many adventures that we can embark on. And at the end of them, we realize the treasures. To me, some of the treasures to me, through all the challenges, the good things, the good times, and maybe the not so good times, it was confidence that I could probably handle just about anything that comes my way. I'll probably have to learn. Some of it might be more pleasant than others in terms of experiences, but I'm more confident. I'm grateful for the opportunity because I don't know of any other experience that could have done this for me over the course of several years. Interpersonal skills, both in terms of communication and leadership. Whatever happens, if I need to speak, I can speak, but it'll probably be in my own voice. My leadership style, I'm learning about it, how I can make it better, where I have some opportunities, but where I'm also strong and what works for me. But there's more beyond the skills. It's the community. I can honestly say most of my friends, many friends for life, come from Toastmasters. So when the thought of leaving Toastmasters comes up, is this the end? How long do you become a member, or do you stay as a member of Toastmasters? It's kind of hard to think about that. I mean, these are the people I spend a couple hours, at least a month with, in meetings, go out, we have social events, lunches, dinners. We keep in touch outside of meetings. This is my community. These people are there to help me as much as I'm there to help them. And if I were to leave that in Toastmasters, I think I'd be leaving a lot. And so thinking about the hidden treasures, it's definitely the members. It's the members in your club, the members on this call. There's a lot that this organization offers you. And today, we can go beyond that. We have the opportunity today to connect with people around the world simply by doing it online. And that might not be the only thing we want to experience in Toastmasters, but think about going to other parts of the United States and to other countries, Canada, other continents, Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa. We have as much diversity as any other organization. We have as much to offer in terms of cultural learning compared to any other organization. And you can learn that here in Toastmasters by attending meetings, by visiting other clubs, and meeting and learning from other members. You can learn a lot about Toastmasters, but you can learn a lot about others as well. And to me, that is a huge treasure that is still mostly hidden. To me, there's an opportunity now to take more field trips as a club or individually. Go out and visit other clubs within District 78 or maybe outside. Go, again, individually, or maybe take a few members. Go out, see other clubs, some that are doing quite well that maybe there's something to learn from. Others that might be on the other side of the planet where there's a lot to learn from. There might be big contrasts, differences, but also some similarities there too that we can learn from. And go bring back what we learned to share with the club. To me, that kind of field trip idea would be great. And that is a new treasure, a new adventure that's available to us today. So I guess in closing, we have an opportunity to have a world-class experience in Toastmasters for our membership. We pay the same thing. It's a matter of what do we want to get from this? What adventures do we wish to start? And my hope, since whatever it is what we make of it, our club and our district, I hope you choose to have the best set of adventures and to uncover and be rewarded with huge treasures in your Toastmasters journey. It's been a real pleasure and a real honor to be able to be a part of this conference. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today and to share a quick message with you. Thank you very much. Mr. District Director, I return control to you.
Thank you, Harold. Much appreciated. Some great words of encouragement to the members of our district. But there is a lot that you can do outside of your club. I think for many of us, we learned that early on. And the rewards of not just the speaking, but what we gain from leadership have been tremendous in our lives. At this time, we do have a few minutes to open up to our group out there. There is a question and answer tab. If anybody would like to ask Harold a question, we would love to see some questions. I guess, Harold, one of the questions, and I will start it out by saying many of us, you and I came up through the district director role, but then you took the next step and decided to move up to International Director. What did you learn from that role and working with other districts, other groups that you could share with us as far as what you gained from being an international director?
Sure, that's a great question. Serving as an international director really wasn't part of the plan. It was kind of one of those opportunities where it felt like I have still something I can contribute, and maybe there's something I can share with the board of directors. Maybe there's something I can share through the role that could be beneficial to not just a local district, but to the greater good of Toastmasters. You learn a lot, and in many roles, like many roles in the international director role, you learn a lot through these many different experiences of, again, giving presentations or writing reports or serving on committees. I mean, there's all these different little experiences that build up that help you develop. But probably, I would say, one of the biggest learnings for me and the essence of the international director role or board member role is about making decisions and about trying to understand, what's best for the member, what's best for the organization and the member. And we have to make a decision on things such as, again, we looked at how do we run contests, or what's best for the member in terms of speech contests for 2021, 2022. Not necessarily an easy decision. And some would say, hey, we wanted it a certain way, or we wanted it a different way. We had to make a decision and figure out what was best. We have a number of proposals that are now available and will be coming up at the annual business meeting. And each one of those involved decision-making, as far as some involve policy changes and some are simply about cleaning up and modernizing some of the language in the governing documents. But every month, at least once a month through our board meeting, we make decisions on items that come up, and some are routine and some are not so routine. As we think about some of the challenges that we have and the opportunities we have, serving as a board member, you get to be involved in making decisions. Again, it makes you kind of think, like, how do I make decisions? What's the right process to use? What do I need to understand? What do I need to look at? And sometimes it's very difficult or uncomfortable to make the decisions, but you know that it's done for the best reasons. So that was the biggest learning to me. And I think getting that opportunity in Toastmasters and now being able to apply it at the job or in a future job, it's a priceless experience. It's a great question.
Thank you, Harold. We had a question come in from an anonymous attendee asking how soon is too soon to ask a new member to take on an officer role.
Sure, that's great question. I don't think it's necessarily too soon, or anything is too soon. If we're looking at it within the club, if the member can contribute and is willing to contribute, I think the member can begin contributing right away. The only thing I would kind of caution with is to make sure that we're not pushing the new member and allow the member to grow. So if we're saying, hey, you'd be a great president, I don't know that would be ideal for the member. I think that might be putting the member, again, not knowing a lot about the background. It feels like, well, maybe they can serve in another role first to get to learn about it. You can certainly sort of have a mentor help, but when we kind of encourage members to serve in very high level roles within the club, like president or VP education, I always worry that maybe that's a little bit too much too soon, unless they have a real spirit of service and are really eager to serve. But I would not shy away from at least exploring the opportunities with the member. Good question.
Thank you, Harold. Sue asked, how many years have you been an international director?
That's a good question. The international director role is a 2-year role. You only serve in it once. I've been serving in it just about 18 months now, maybe about 19 or 20. And the role will terminate, my term will terminate at the International Convention in late August. So I'm about 4 or 5 months away, give or take. 2-year role.
Very good. And clubs need to remember that they do have a voice in Toastmasters. The president and secretary are the voting members at the district level, or at the international level. The district level, it's the president and VP of education. One more question here. Another person asked, do you ask your own employees and staff to join Toastmasters?
Great question. I try to promote Toastmasters in a way that I'm comfortable with. In terms of when we kind of say ask, I think that's never to say you should join Toastmasters or you must join Toastmasters, sometimes might be the implication. To me, and in my style, I just want to make them aware that there's a Toastmasters opportunity to join Toastmasters, what it's done for me, and I think they could benefit from it. I actually think everybody can benefit from Toastmasters, with the caveat that maybe it's not the right time for them. And it might not be, but it can always benefit someone. So it's more about encouraging them and doing it in the right way to say, like, this could be beneficial to you and it should be fun as well. So I don't really believe in the arm twisting, and I don't think we have to overly kind of be too overt with promotion. I just think a nice, natural, comfortable kind of letting people be aware of Toastmasters and what it can do for them. Because I think sometimes also is that we can get a little bit, when we feel like promoting Toastmasters, sometimes if it gets too far outside our comfort zone, we don't do it at all. But just do it. Let's just do it in our natural voice. We'll be fine with that.
Thank you, Harold. And just we had one more question sneak in here. What kind of productivity and time management tools and methods do you like to utilize?
Oh, that's a great question. And I think for anyone who is either serving or will serve or is aspiring to serve in a leadership role, we definitely need to look at how do we manage our time and our productivity. And I've learned the hard way. I've sometimes let work and Toastmasters get too mixed up, whereas I'm not productive at work at times. And that happens. And I think it happens to others as well. What I try to do the best I can is, I use a time planner. I use a day planner, a full focus planner. But probably the biggest thing I do is try to find blocks to put Toastmasters activity into, and then also separate it from work. So in other words, if I put 2 hours, if I see emails coming in and they're not urgent, but they're Toastmasters related and they're not urgent, I try to address those during a offline block during work, after work, rather than try to address them while I'm trying to get something done for professional work. At the same time, I think it's always about kind of drawing boundaries. When can I participate and when can I go to club meetings, whether they're virtual or on site? And when is it a time where I have to devote time either to professional work, family, or physical health? That's a work in process, and those are lessons learned, many of them the hard way. The one thing I would tell someone is set boundaries, be realistic on what you can do. No one's asking you to kind of give up everything for a Toastmasters role, and then try to block and batch as much as you can so that you're not context switching and mixing Toastmasters and work within the same half hour. It's a great question.
Thank you, Harold. We are at the end of our time. On behalf of District 78, we want to thank you for taking time to talk to us today, to encourage us about our goals and about our treasures that we can find in Toastmasters. If you haven't found them yet, they're still out there. And if you're like me and have been a long time member, there's still a lot of goals that we have out there to compete. But you also have that opportunity to share those experiences that you do have. So don't ever think that you're done. You can always share, you can always mentor. So thank you again, Harold. At this time, I would like to introduce our District Program Quality Director, Wes Shell, to tell us a little bit about what we have done the past couple of days with our planning team.
Yeah, thank you very much, District Director, and thank you, Harold, for a fantastic keynote address. And thank you, District 78, for allowing me to serve you this year. I've met with many of you over the last 9 months, either at officer trainings, contests, town halls, or any other events that you may have been organizing. And I got to really get to know a lot of you, a lot of different personalities, and really more so, one thing I noticed is a lot of different cultures throughout our district. And this got me to thinking a little bit about my own club culture and how it compared to all the cultures that are out there from the different clubs. And I just wanted to share something here real quick. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, I'm the guy that brought the PowerPoint to the closing ceremony. Hopefully you guys will invite me back. I apologize. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me here. So, culture. I wanted to talk just a little bit about culture and district culture. And starting with my club, like I said, it got me to thinking a little bit about my club and my own club culture and how it differed to other club cultures. And if you think about that in your own club culture and what represents that club culture, you start to see things like, do you meet early in the morning? Do you meet late at night? Maybe you meet over lunchtime. Do you have a common etiquette that you guys adhere to? Do you bribe your members? I know that we used to buy our members lunch. It's all a very good tactic, by the way. Do you have gatherings outside of Toastmasters where you can further bribe your members? All of these different things, they make up club cultures. And every club has kind of a unique little club culture. So if you think about that and all the different clubs that we have within District 78, how many different cultures then do we have here within our district? Well, I went out and I looked and I did the math, and we currently have 59 active clubs in our district. So that would be 59 unique cultures throughout our district. Think about that for a little bit. Now, something happens when you begin to merge those cultures. And the first time that this happens is at the area level, right? And this occurs during officer training, speech contest, other events that you might be organizing. But this too creates a unique culture. It's a culture made up of all of those clubs within the area, and then you get your area culture. And the same thing occurs at the division level, right? All the areas come together and they meld, they work together, and they too create their own unique division culture. But then something unique happens when we get to the district, because we have this unique thing called geography that kind of gets in the way a little bit. And when you see how our different divisions lay over the top of our geography, you can see that they don't exactly overlap in a lot of cases, right? We have some overlap, A and B out here in Montana, and they do a lot of collaboration. We got C and D here in North Dakota, and they collaborate a lot. Same here with E and F. And traditionally, when we were bound by geography, that's where you saw a lot of those cultures develop within those different unique states, really kind of along the borders of our geography. We have this area here I call the Montanas. We have this area here where we have Montana and Dakota coming together a little bit. I don't know if you call that the Montakotas. I'm not sure. Over here you have Minnesota and Dakota, so it's the Sodakotas, I think. Down here you got just purely South Dakota. And when you get North Dakota and South Dakota together with a little bit of Montana in the corner, and we just don't talk about those guys. We're gonna move on from there. You get the point that I'm trying to make though, I think, right? The other thing that happens with this, with geography in the way, is we have individuals out here on the edges. And sometimes those individuals out there on the edges, they begin to get a little bit isolated. They don't feel quite as connected to the rest of the district when we're bound by those geographical boundaries again. When I think the opportunity that we've had over the last couple of years with Zoom and with going virtual is that we're able to break those boundaries down now. And it's starting to look something more like this, where all of our divisions are truly collaborating together. And when they come together like this, they form this nice, pretty little flower in the middle where X marks the spot to meet our ultimate success, right? District 78, this conference this year, it did not come together by itself, I promise you. It took several individuals from several different cultures, both geographic and club, coming together to form what I feel has been an extremely successful conference. And I just want to take a moment to recognize some of the people who pulled all of this together. Starting with our host and our co-chair, Lane Latigo. When I first met with Lane about this conference and about being a co-chair, you see, he explained to me that sometimes being out there on the edge of the district out there in Division A, it did feel a little bit disconnecting at times. And this was supposed to be their year to host the conference, and then we voted to make it go virtual. And as Lane and I talked, it became apparent to me how important it was going to be to ensure that they got their turn hosting a conference, even if it was done virtually. And from the theme to the Communication and Leadership Award recipient, Susan Previs, we tried to honor the culture of our host community as much as we possibly could. And Lane, you did a job well done. Thank you very much. I also want to thank our program team with Wendy Couts, Kate Thomas, and Laura Lobo, and not to mention all of the session hosts who helped introduce speakers, run Q&As, and do all of the back office jobs that made this convention work. Thank you so much. Laura, I want to thank you too for staying up late at night and hosting our Night Owl sessions. Those were a lot of fun, and I agree with Carl. I hope to see more of those in the future. Our contest team with Chief Judge Katie Schwing, fantastic job. It's not an easy organizing a district level contest, and she organized 2 of them. And I must say so, you did so seemingly effortlessly, Katie. Thank you for all your time and help, and your team and all the other contest officials. I also want to thank Shelly Axman, our district public relations manager, for all her help promoting the event and for sharing her wisdom. And Greg Carlson and Carl Murbach for your support and leadership at the district level. Carl, you truly are one of those leaders that serve your team. And District 78, I tell you what, he served me very well this year. I want to thank you for your trust, for your counsel, and as always, for your friendship. And finally, I want to thank co-chair and chair of technology, Megan Hooray. Her and her army of awesomeness, which is what I call the team of techs she pulled together to support this thing, they made this happen. It's because of each and every single one of you stepping up and taking on this critical role this year that we were able to have this successful virtual conference. And yes, we did have a few snags along the way, but because of you and the competence you showed, the show went on. I want every single one of you to please pat yourself on the back. You all earned it. And Megan, it's been my pleasure to work with you. You stepped up to the challenge. You hit a home run. You truly are a rock star. It seemed like it wasn't that long ago when we started planning this event, and now it's coming to its end. But with ends always comes a new beginning and a new team to be in planning next year's conference. So at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you next year's conference co-chair from Fargo, North Dakota, distinguished Toastmaster, Billy Sutherland.
Thank you, Wes. Good evening, everyone. And I am so excited because this has been an awesome experience. I have to say, even though we were virtual, I greatly enjoyed learning new technology with this go round with Whova and Slack, and Megan being our technical leader, learned so much from her, obviously, but also learning from everyone else too. We had some awesome education awards and fun throughout the whole conference, spread throughout these last few days. So thank you, everyone. We hope to make the next one just as exciting. So I'm going to share just one slide with you to officially invite everyone to the 2023 conference, which is to be held in Fargo. It is our rotation turn. So we're pretty excited about that. I have to say, my first conference was about 2 years after I started in Toastmasters. And that was, so I started in 2010, so about 2012. I really didn't know much about outside of what my club was available to begin with. And I got to know the Ripplingers, Clyde and Diana, in those couple years with doing contests and different things in our areas and divisions, of course, and learned about the district conference. And they're like, yep, let's go. And it was in Missoula, Montana. So we're going from the eastern side of our district all the way to the western side. And we road tripped, and it was one of the best experiences I ever had. And I have not missed a conference since because of that. Because I met so many people, learned so many things. So the conferences are definitely worth your time. So I want to officially invite everybody. We will be trying to stick around the same dates. We don't know exactly what dates for sure, so plan for that last weekend in April or first weekend in May potentially. because Shelley Axman and I, who are partners in crime on this, are considering, hopefully we'll be somewhat in person. So we'll have a hybrid situation maybe next year. And I might have to pick Harold's brain a little bit because he's experienced this now, and he might give us some good pointers of how to make it better with that experience for everyone. So I just want to officially invite everybody. And also, like Wes said, this takes a lot of people to make it come together. So I am asking that everyone consider helping out in one little form or another. And we'll be forming committees, obviously, to help plan and drive everything in the future. So think about it. Are there areas within a conference you would be very interested in being part of? We have finance, we have technical, we have contests. I've been chief judge at district level too. I love contests as far as the planning goes. So I've been there, done that, the social events, and obviously all of the PR that goes into this too. So if there's something you have a passion about and want to help with, or maybe you have a project within your pathways that some of these activities might fit into, reach out to Shelley and I, and we'll definitely bring you on board as a team member, because it's going to take a village to put this all together next year. So again, please join us in Fargo. We have the beautiful downtown Fargo iconic theater in our picture there. And there's some awesome downtown stuff now that it's revitalized over the last 15 years. So we're looking forward to having you all come visit us in Fargo, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Having lived in Minnesota, I hope we can get our English to Fargo dictionary ahead of time so we can learn to speak the language. Harold quite understands that, having been from Minnesota.
Yeah, sure.
You betcha. One of the exciting things we get to do at our annual convention is our annual business meeting. And one of the exciting parts to that is the election of our incoming officers for the next Toastmaster year. I would like to welcome back Harrold Osmundson to do our introductions for our new officers that were elected just this past Tuesday. So welcome back, Harold. We are appreciating having you back again.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. District Director, fellow Toastmasters of District 78. Today, we'll officially induct our new leaders and pledge our support to them for the 2022-2023 Toastmasters program year. Before doing that, let's first thank our current district leaders for their service and their hard work. While the current district leadership team and their duties are not through, we are grateful for your contributions over the past year and fulfilling your responsibilities to the best of your ability until your terms end on June 30th. Many thanks. Much appreciation for all you've done and for completing the term. Let's induct and install the division directors. The following Toastmasters have been elected as division directors for the 2022-2023 program year. Ashley Doctor for Division C, Hagen Gunderson for Division D, and Mackenzie Betcher for Division E. As division directors, will you commit to doing your best to support your area directors and to help District 78 fulfill its mission? If so, please respond, we will.
Unfortunately, we can't hear them.
Yeah, I think that
we're on a webinar, so
didn't want to.
We'll get that good assumption. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take it as a yes. We'll take it as a yes. Let's move on to the program quality director role. The program quality director role is responsible for all aspects of education and training within the district. These responsibilities include supporting quality club programming efforts, promoting the Distinguished Club Program, planning, organizing, and executing the district conference, certainly through a team, and promoting and supporting club quality and member retention. Greg Carlson, do you accept the duties of the office of Program Quality Director and pledge to do your best to carry them out in accordance with the district mission? If so, please say, I will.
I will.
Congratulations, Greg. Many thanks. I wish you the best in your journey as Program Quality Director.
Thank you.
Now for our District Director-elect. Toastmaster Wes Shell. As District Director, you're responsible for conducting yourself in a way that embodies the Toastmasters values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. As the district's Chief Executive Officer, you lead members in fostering strong clubs, achieving their goals, and fulfilling the district and Toastmasters International missions. Will you accept these responsibilities? If so, please say, I will.
I will.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, Wes. Wish you the best in your journey ahead as District Director. District Director and District Leaders for the 2022-2023 program year. Will you commit to working together as a team and doing your best to help each other meet your common goals? If so, please respond, we will. And I think we will, again, take that as a yes. Let's give a round of applause to our elected and appointed district leaders for 2022-2023. We wish them the best and we pledge to support them on their journey, but we're not over yet. We still have a little bit more to do here. For all members on the call today, you, the members of District 78, have chosen your leaders for 2022-2023. You've selected them to leadership positions and have a responsibility to support them. Will you help the district team be successful, and will you work with them in a respectful manner so that we can achieve common goals and make District 78 a phenomenal district? If so, please respond, we will.
We will.
We will.
All right, thank you very much. And we wish you the best of luck. And we know that 2022-2023 will be a great year for the members and leaders of District 78. This concludes the installation ceremony for the incoming leaders of District 78. Thank you for attending. Mr. District Director, I return control to you.
Thank you again, Harold. And let's see, is there anything else on our agenda? Les, are we through? Gregor, I think we're through for the day, aren't we?
I don't think there's anything too important.
No, I don't think there's anything too important. But just to keep us entertained, let's have a little fun. It is now time to introduce our contest winners. And I am going to share my screen. We will get this up here. And I would like to introduce our Tall Tales Contest Chair, Wes Shell, to do the announcement from our Tall Tales Contest winners. Wes, any comments? And we'll scroll this when you are ready to make those announcements.
No, thank you, District Director. I have no comments that haven't already been made. I'm ready to go ahead and jump right into the announcement. I'm sure everybody is eager to hear. So for third place on the for the Tall Tales contest, congratulations, Barb Steiner. Second place was Jeremy Skrinis. And congratulations to first place winner of our Tall Tales contest, Christine Glenn.
Thank you, Wes. I am going to stop the share and go back and set up for our international contest. So 1 second. Let's get back and share screen.
District 78 Toastmasters and most welcome guests. It is the time you have all been waiting for as we announce.
Sorry, technology.
The winners of our International Speech Contest for 2022. Third place winner, Ritu Huda. Second place, Rhonda Wooten. And first place and winner of this year's District 78 contest is Charlie Seabenga. Congratulations.
Thank you all. It was a great, fun contest. I'm so glad that everything went smoothly. And as I mentioned earlier, it is not done by one person. It really takes a team. But I want to thank all of our contestants that participated in the speech contest, our judges, our contest officials. It really was worth the efforts that everybody put in. At this time, we have had a wonderful conference. If you're like me, I am looking forward to the only disadvantage we have with a virtual conference is this darn chair I've been sitting in for many, many hours here. I am looking up to getting to see what my wife looks like in the rest of the house. But I want to thank everybody again for a wonderful, wonderful conference. At this time, the District 78 2022 conference is adjourned. Thank you to everybody. Harrold, once again, we will see you starting next week. We still have club meetings. We've got club officer training coming up. We are not done yet. Thank you all for attending, and we will be in touch. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and weekend.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everyone.